Real hustle, real people, real results.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Hustle Podcast. My name is Chris Kiblin, and I will be your host. Today, we are here with Tim from Weekend Wash, and he's going to be talking a little bit about his business, about his successes, and some of his struggles, and kind of give us some ideas on how he built his business. But before we get started, please check us out at realhustle.com, where you can see all of our podcast videos right there. Also, check out our gear. We have Real Hustle hats like I'm wearing. Also, we have t-shirts. We have all kinds of great things. And if you use the promo code podcast, you'll save 10%. All right, let's get started. Hey, Tim, what's up?
What's going on, Chris?
How are you?
Good, man. Good,
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, so you're the owner of Weekend Wash.
I am.
So when did you start that business?
We started about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And, I had just moved here from Miami. And I had my real estate license when I got here, and that was what my initial thought was I was going to get into real estate, but very quickly I realized that new city, new people, not going to happen that quickly. So we kind of needed something else to jump into to start making some revenue and get the ball rolling. So me and my brother-in-law, who you had on the podcast, Donald.
I didn't realize you guys were family.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I married his younger sister.
Okay.
But me and him, we were just talking one day, and it was a Wednesday night. We were at my place, and we were talking about mobile businesses because he had this strong belief that mobile businesses were going to take off. And this, keep in mind, this is 4 years ago, so it was before it really did start taking off, and it has been. And so through that conversation, we were, trying to figure out what can we do mobilely that I can do, that we can perform the service. And I was like, well, I've always washed my own cars. I've always been pretty good at it, so why not try that? And so long story short, we shook hands on it that night, on a Wednesday night. And that Saturday, 3 days later, we were licensed and we were washing cars.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
3 days later.
3 days later.
So how did you come up with the name Weekend Wash? What came up with that?
Well, the initial thought of it was going to be a side hustle. So
Okay.
we were like, we're going to do this on the weekends. We're going to go out. We're going to wash cars on the weekends, make some extra money, get whatever else we got to go get it rolling. So that's what we did. So we went out on a Saturday, the first Saturday, and we went out every weekend after that, Saturday through Sunday. So it was Weekend Wash. We were just going to do weekends.
Okay.
But, it was pretty incredible how quickly the idea went around and how quickly it grew and how much people wanted it. So we very quickly ended up being 7 days a week.
Wow.
And we just maintained the name because, that's what people knew us by. So
Right, that's pretty cool. So let's get back to where you started before this. So kind of give us maybe a little bit of learning process as far as what you went through. So as you're learning this, right, it happened very quickly. So what kind of struggles did you have at the beginning?
Yeah, so it was complete learning curve, from the get-go. I had a little bit of experience. I was in Miami. I was managing an interior plant design business, and so I had some sales training there and stuff like that, but whole different industry. And the only experience I had was working on my own car. So I went out with my brother-in-law, Donnie. He helped me start it, and he had some sales experience because he was, doing the dry cleaning routes to pick up and delivery for dry cleaning. So, he kind of showed me the concept of knocking on doors and doing door-to-door sales and just that hard hustle.
That's
So
tough. I did that. I did it for insurance.
Yes, I know you did. So, and a lot of guys out here who are, doing good for themselves, that's how they start out, and it's a good way to hustle, and it really breaks boundaries. But so we went out there, we found a community, we started knocking on doors, and Donnie was like, you just gotta do it. You just gotta get out there and do it. So I went out there, started knocking on doors. My first 3 were no's. I'm like, oh man, this is tough. And then fourth door comes around and I get my first yes. And then that was it. It was from there, it was like that gratification of getting that yes, it just propels you forward. So we started doing that first car, and we didn't even have to knock on doors after that. Then the neighborhood started coming to us. They're like, oh, can you do mine next? Can you do mine next? Can you do mine next? We're like, oh, yeah, let's go.
All right.
So that was one of my first, hurdles, was that sales process, getting through that and really just getting out there and doing it. And then now getting into the service side of it, we started off just washing cars. That's all we did. That's what we knew how to do. And then once I saw the demand and how this was picking up, I'm like, well, I got to learn how to do more. This is not going to work with just washing cars. So I got on YouTube, I got on every, forum, and I started looking at products and, teaching myself, self-taught. And I started working on my own car and, started polishing, I even tried doing wet sanding, all kinds of crazy stuff to my own car. And eventually I grew the skill and I learned, and little by little I grew the business, grew the value that I can give, and through that we grew the prices, and so it started becoming a real business. And eventually I went from just doing one priced car wash to creating a menu with different services, and that was so learning the services, learning the sales, and then also learning how to structure the business, create that menu and get it going, and really advertise it. Those were all some big hurdles that we had to go through, but we did it pretty quickly, which was
I know you guys
cool.
grew fast. I mean, and that's the thing is like I watched you guys from basically kind of when you started this thing back 4 years ago, and then how like you guys are just growing. Now you got teams, because I know you sent teams out to my house to wash my cars, and so like that was kind of the thing is like now you got like managers out there and all kinds of things, and so I mean that's pretty cool. And so when you first started though, you had what, one truck?
Yep.
And now how many do you have?
Now we got three.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's pretty cool that you're growing that fast. And how many employees?
We have currently 6 employees.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was it was quite a transition. I mean, from switching from a sole proprietor service business to just being me in a van and going out there and hustling. I mean, we were doing, I was out there doing 16-hour days by myself, and it was tough. And so very quickly, I was making money and I was happy about it. And I was fine with the hustle. I'm pushing myself physically too. So I was breaking limits on that end, which was super cool. I was like, but I realized very quickly that I'm not gonna be able to maintain this. I lost 65 pounds in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, my family was like, you look sick. You need to eat more. I'm like, you don't know how much I'm eating. I'm eating a lot. But we just kept pushing. And then, so I thought about it and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to maintain this. This is not gonna be sustainable. So it's either I'm gonna have to go super high end and compete with the rest of the market, or I'm gonna have to find a way to do the volume I need to do, and that the only way to do that would be bring on people. So that was a huge transition in itself, was switching from being a sole proprietor to being a real business, and bringing on those people, bringing in the extra vans and stuff like that, and structuring the pricing and the services properly. And it, to be honest, it didn't go great the first time around. Like some business owners would know, you don't always get it right the first time. So we did that. We tried to scale up, got another van, got some guys, got them hired, and we were running. But we weren't making any money. Right. So
what did you do to fix it? So this is the kind of stuff that I love to have on here, because the thing is like, okay, obviously we as a business owners, we come up with challenges, right? Mm-hmm. And how we fix those challenges. So that's what, I love to share those stories, because people only see what's right now, right? They see the success, or they see what you're going through. Oh, look at him. Look what he's got. Look at the success that he has. They don't understand. And this is why I love doing these podcasts. It's just because you can share that. Look what I went through. You had no idea what I went through, right? The struggles. We didn't get it right. What do we do to fix it? So what did you do to fix it?
So exactly like you said, there's a lot of struggles that go into it. You don't see the bottom half of everything. But yeah, we had to dial back. And for me, a big part of the business and being an entrepreneur is being able to give other people opportunities. That's what makes me happy about it, not just the hustle itself. So, I did have employees that were working and they loved their job and they were getting paid and making their money, and, I didn't want to disrupt that. So we actually held off for a little while. And as you know, I'm also a real estate agent. I know we're focusing on Weekend Wash, but I do have another hustle as well. And that's what kept me afloat during this period. Right. And so I kept my guys on, I kept them paid, and we just did a zero balance for a good little while. And then eventually, my team wanted to move on to something else and go somewhere else. So when that happened, I was able to dial back and kind of restructure and, put in some more value to my packages, get the prices up a little bit, restructure that business and the profitability. And then we were able to rebuild from there and start hiring new guys again on a different pay structure with different profit margins, and successfully started growing it from there.
And that's the thing. So that's one of the things that I can tell you that I love about you guys, because, there is other people out there that does mobile detailing, right? But it seems more of those guys have a tendency to be more of the higher end, right? They want to come out and they want to charge you a crazy amount of money to come out and do your vehicle or whatever, and that's only what they want. Like they're trying to stay in that area. what I like about what you guys can do is like, hey, you're keeping it a little cheaper for us over here. And, because sometimes you just want your car washed, right? I don't need to have the wax and this, all the other stuff done. I just want my car washed, right? I mean, how many times can I have somebody come out and do, the hand wax, or what do they call it? Would they get rid of the scratches and all that kind of stuff, right?
Polish down and everything.
It's like, sometimes you just don't need all that, right? I just want a car wash. And I just want somebody to come out and wash it. And so that's the thing, is like most of the people that I knew that was doing what you were doing, that's all they wanted, right? And I get it, right? Because your time, it's your, especially if you're a one-man show, right? It makes more sense. Right. But for like most people, right, I think that they're looking for something that's a little bit more cost-effective. The average person is not going to go out and spend $500, $600 every time they need to get their car done, right? 100%. And we're in Florida, and right now we're in the rainy season. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, okay, I just spent $600 to get my car washed, but a week later it's dirty again.
Yeah, it just got poured on.
It got poured on. Yeah. And then you're like, oh my God. And I get it if it's a high-end car that you're only bringing out once a week, but not for your everyday person. And that's what I love about what you guys have and what you guys bring to the table. Talk to me a little bit, because I know you have different packages. I know you have different services. Tell me a little bit about what your services and your products are.
Yeah, so exactly what you said. The whole concept of this was to make it available for everybody. One of the other reasons why I started it was because I moved here and, I went to get my car done at a local place. And I had to take it. I had to wait for an hour. And I paid close to $100 and didn't get the full job done. And I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. So I was like, well, if this is how it is, then there's obviously a need for this kind of service. Bring it to your door and do the complete service. But at the same time, like you said, I didn't want to go super high end and shoot for a niche market. I wanted to make it available for everybody. So, we decided to take on the hardship ourselves of the real hustle to pump out that volume, because you have to do the volume to have the lower prices, and deal with the employees, get them trained, and do the real hustling and really get out there and run with it. So, that's what we do on the back end. We hustle hard and we work hard. My guys work hard.
I love all the hustling.
Yes.
The real hustle, the hustle.
The real hustle. That's what it's all about. It's what makes you feel good. But yeah, it's for the customers, so everyone could have access to it. So our services, we range anywhere from a basic inside and out full service wash, $65. But then we also do the full thing where we go all the way up to $400 to do a full polish down and correction, and then coat it with a ceramic coating. And we do all this, at the comfort of your home. We're mobile. We bring everything to you. We do it in your driveway, and we have that car looking beautiful for you, and it's a fraction of the price of what you can find in the higher end world.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, it is great, because I know when I have you guys come to my house, especially when you do my 3 cars, right? And I'm sitting there, I was like, because if I want to get each one of them washed, I've got to go. If I want to go somewhere, I got to take one there, come back, take one there, come back, take one there, come back. Right? It's great. I just have you come in, you do all 3 right there and there. They're done, and and you guys are there for a couple hours, depending upon what kind of wash we're getting. So it's definitely a great service as far as what you guys have. So what do you think as far as growth-wise? What are you looking for? What are you guys thinking you're going to go? How are you going to take this?
Well, for growth, I mean, the main thing is nowadays this industry is changing. There's new products coming out. You have ceramic coatings, things that people have never even seen before. The car detailing world has changed dramatically, and it's getting very popular, and people are following it. So for us, our goal as We Can Wash, and not being like this high-end branded thing, we want to stay innovative, and we want to stay current for our customers and stay on the trends. And we're always testing new products. We're always trying new things, see what works better, and what we can add to our services. But that's the main thing. I mean, we want to grow this. We want to, we want to be a part of this community and be able to service everybody that we, even with our 3 vans, we're still having a hard time keeping on top of our schedule, because there's so much demand for it. Like you said, we're in Florida. It rains every other day. People want to keep their cars washed and cleaned, and we want to be able to provide that service. So the goal is to, create this infrastructure that makes it, you can call me same day, in a couple hours, we're there. Right. You know what I mean? Make it as convenient and as immediate as possible.
That's the tough thing, right? So I know most people, you got to book so far out. It's like, right? Some other people I've talked to. And when I was first looking around, I was like, okay, all right, you're 2 weeks out. I was like, how do you know it's not going to rain that day? Yeah. And that's the other thing is like, you want kind of that service. And especially the thing is like, okay, let's say I was planning something for the weekend or whatever, and I wanted to take my car and I want my car to look good. Because I'm very, as my family will tell you I'm very deep, especially when it comes to my cars. I'm very picky about my cars, about how they look.
Yeah.
And so I've always been that way and always wanted to make sure they look good. And as we're taking them out,
Absolutely.
they're just like, that's what I am. I'm a car guy, right? I'm not, people ask me, I don't do boats. I don't do, that's what I do. That's what, so my cars are my babies. And so that was the thing is like, okay, I can do it in like 2 weeks. Well, I can't wait 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so we're going out Saturday and, I'm taking my wife out on a nice date. I want the car to be clean, and I want it to look nice and presentable and everything else. And so that's the thing that kind of, because you do have, and so many people, but that's the thing that I think that you're building that's unique in our area is you're getting more and more people, you're training the right people, you're building your teams so that way you can service more people instead of just being a one-man shop. There's so many of those, and I see a lot of those. There's just the one-man shop, the guy just goes out, he does his thing. That's why you can't get a hold of him, or it takes forever to get somebody.
Absolutely.
So about how many car washes do you think you're doing a day?
Well, in a day with the 3 trucks, we can do anywhere between 12 and 15 cars in a day, which is a beautiful thing. But yeah, that's the key is we get so many customers that, move to our service just because of the availability we have, the demand that we have. We can get there when you need us there. It's like, people that want to wash on Friday because they're going out on Saturday, just like you said, or Thursday because they're going out on Friday. They want that car clean. They want it looking good. And, with the way things are moving nowadays and how fast everyone's hustling and taking care of their stuff, it's nonstop. If you're an entrepreneur, you're nonstop. So you're not thinking about scheduling 2 weeks in advance to get your car cleaned. You walk outside after a rain, you're like, oh crap, I got to get my car cleaned. Let me call the guy.
Exactly.
And that's what we try to adhere to. Because the thought of me getting a phone call saying they need it today and I can't get there today, so they're going to go somewhere else, kills me inside. So I just want to get to the point where never have to deal with that. They call me. Oh, we'll be there in a couple of hours.
That's awesome, because that's the thing. That's really taking care of the client, right? One of the things that I find that you guys bring to the table is that service, and that's an amazing thing if you can get to the point where you're servicing people in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you that, I do cheat on you guys every once in a while. But I just take it to like a car wash and run it through my car wash.
Yeah.
But still, if you're there in a couple hours, I'd be like, hey, Tim, just come on over, and if you can come over, and that makes it different, because so sometimes I don't always have the time, because as entrepreneurs or any successful people, that's the thing, right? So we're trying to get it done as fast as possible, or we might have that particular time frame that we only have right then and there to get it done, or in the next couple of hours to get it done. So, because we know is like, okay, usually our schedule is pretty tight, and and if you got to stop to go take it to a car wash, and then you're sitting there waiting for the car wash, and go through the car wash, that's still time. That could be an hour and a half, depending upon where you're going, or how long, what you're getting done. So it does make a difference if you could just have, if you can get that out there. So tell me, what's the biggest success that you've had so far in Weekend Wash?
Ooh. I think I would have to say the biggest success of Weekend Wash for me personally would be the fact that I'm able to provide something that could be a career for my guys who work with me. That's, for me, that's the most rewarding part of it. I know satisfying the customers, that's the name of the game. That's what we're trying to do. That's the objective.
Right.
But on the side of that, I'm also able to employ these younger guys who are willing to hustle. They may not have the best credentials or the ability or a degree or the ability to go get a real high-end job or anything like that, but they're willing to work hard and they're willing to hustle and they're good guys, so to give them these opportunities to go out there and make good money and be out there hustling and loving what they're doing because they're working on really cool cars and they have a great time doing it, they enjoy it. I think for me that's one of the most rewarding parts of the whole business.
Yeah, because I know for me, because before I got into doing my business and doing all the other stuff, I actually really enjoyed washing my car, wiping down my car, shining the tires, everything, right?
Yeah.
That was actually one of my things as far as relaxing for me.
Satisfying.
It's like, after you're done, you see how shiny it is. You're looking for, all right, look what
Yeah.
And it does, and it gets that thing. Unfortunately, I'm too busy now. So it kind of was one of those things, that I kind of had to stop doing. But, like you said, I mean, I think the thing is, especially if you're younger, but think about it. You're getting to live in Florida. You're getting to enjoy the Florida lifestyle, be outside, work on some of these amazing cars, because I've seen some of the amazing cars that you've done, especially these high-end cars, and I think that's kind of a cool thing, especially for a younger person, right? Mm-hmm. They can go out there and just be like, hey, I'm living the life. I'm, go outside, I'm outside, I'm not in some stuffy office all day. So, and I'm sure that appeals to a lot of your people.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're learning skills, great skills, because they're out there, they're doing sales for the customers when they talk to them. They're doing customer service. They're learning the skill of detailing the car. They're managing a van. My detailers have helpers with them that they have to manage. They're managing employees. So they're learning real life business skills. And, I tell my guys too, I'm like, work for me for a while, make some money. Once you feel confident and you've learned enough, maybe you can go start your own thing one day. I'm not opposed to that.
Right.
Like that's the whole point of this is you're young, you're building your life, you're learning skills so you can do something. So for me, like I said, that's the main success is I'm giving them an opportunity that, they can build a life with. So.
And I think that's cool. I think it's cool that you sit there and said, you know what, learn what I do, learn from our business. And who knows, maybe one day you could go start your own, right? A lot of people aren't like that, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, you don't be stepping in my territory, right? They're like, oh, my hands off. But, then it gives them empowerment, right? To learn from you and probably more than likely stay with you even longer, right? Because they feel like, hey, maybe this isn't the end if they do have that ambition to go start their own business. Or, hey, maybe they start out as a detailer and say, hey, I want to run my own truck or whatever, and there's ways to grow that, and people who can sit there and say, okay, well, I mean, I'm making great money as a detailer. I mean, probably more than if I was going and working at some like, wherever. And so, and then you get the tips on top of that, and then you get, or then I can move up. And I think that's an awesome way to help people learn, right? Because maybe they don't want to, who knows, how long they want to do this, right? But then they can go back and say, look, I was I ran a bus or I ran a van, I was a manager or whatever. It gives you that managerial experience to maybe help propel you in other things. And so I think that helps. And I think, it gives them that chance. Because a lot of times people don't want to give those people those chances. They learn those skills. And I think it's a cool way for you to do that and let them get an understanding of it and let them grow.
Right.
So. Yeah,
I mean, in this day and age, with the technology that we have available, most people can find ways to create income for themselves. It's not so much just going and finding a job. And so things are shifting, employees and people out there looking for jobs, they have so many options, so it's not so much like, oh, I'm giving you this opportunity, you work for me, I'm going to pay you, you do what I tell you to do. It's not like that anymore. You got to create an environment, you got to create something that they want to come to, that they want to do. Not only are you taking care of your customers, but you're taking care of your employees, which, I call my family. They're my family. They take care of my business, which takes care of my family. So they're part of my family,
Exactly.
And they understand that. And if they ever need anything from me, any way I can help them, teach them, I try to do that as much as I possibly can. And, they enjoy it. They really enjoy it.
I think nowadays you got to understand that. And here's the thing, right? Even in my mortgage business, right? Customers, we all know we got to give great customer service, right? And we got to take care of them, and we got, and I got to take care of the realtor, right? And make sure that they're happy and everything's they're done. But I think sometimes a lot of people forget the focus of their employees. And one of the things that I've gone out of my way, especially now, is to make sure my employees are happy, right? Yeah. Because the thing is, they are family. I've got to deal with them, right? So that's the thing, is like, I want them to be happy. I want them to be excited to come to work. I want them to be taken care of, 100%. Right? So that is the thing, is like, and I tell people this all the time, okay, I might be the one that goes out and brings the business in. However, they're the backbone of my business, right? They're the ones that are making me look good.
Yeah.
And so, like, they're the ones doing the paperwork. They're the ones doing all the stuff behind the scenes to make sure everything runs efficiently. So if you don't take care of your employees, if they leave, you're done.
Exactly.
So like that's the thing that I look at, and I really kind of like, I've learned this more and more, especially as I've gotten older, and it's like it's more about them than it is about, yeah, we still want to do the other stuff, but you have to take care of them, because if you don't take care of them and they're not happy and they do roll, you're kind of out of luck, right? Now all of a sudden everything's on you, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm terrible at paperwork, right?
Yeah.
And my team is my, behind the scenes, they're the ones taking care of all that stuff, and be the first one to tell you, I'm terrible at paperwork, but they're the ones that make me look good, because like if I had to start doing that, we'd be on a different thing.
Exactly.
So so all right. So anything else you want to share with us?
No, I appreciate you having me, and I love everything that you're doing as well. You have so many cool things going on, and I know you've already been killing it in the mortgage game, and so it's really cool to see someone like you, get to a certain level and then go to the next thing, and it inspires me to think about where I can go next. But of course, I got to get a weekend wash situated and get it 100% before I move forward, like you did. But yeah, other than that, we're just out here trying to have fun.
So how do we get a hold of you? How can people get a hold of you?
Oh, absolutely. You guys can give us a call, shoot me a text. The number for our company is 941-251-1244. That's my cell phone. It's connected to my wife's phone as well. We are a family business. We hustle. We take care of everything. So you call or text the phone, you're getting me or my wife. That's
awesome.
That's how personal it is. And then also you can jump on the website, weekendwash.com, which makes it super easy, super convenient. You see everything there. You can book online. We're all over Facebook. You type in mobile detailing, you're going to see us there on Google. So we try to be as accessible to everybody as possible, and we try to get ourselves out there. But yeah, just shoot me a text, give me a call, get on the website.
You guys cannot go wrong by using Weekend Wash. I'm telling you from experience. So like I've learned from them. They take great care of you. My cars always look fantastic.
Thank you.
So I appreciate it. All right, guys, that's going to be the end of our show today. So please make sure you check us out. We're everywhere. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next week.